Most people don't train their hamstrings. Big mistake. The hamstrings are sometimes called the biceps of the leg. Today, you're going to learn how to grow bigger, stronger hamstrings the smart way. Welcome to the Hamstring Masterclass. Today, we're going to be covering the full range of motion, band-assisted Nordic curl for muscle growth. Having the correct setup is key for success. You can see that I've got two pads, one for the knees and one for the Achilles. This is to maximize comfort, which allows you to display your full strength and maximize hamstring hypertrophy. Next, let's talk about stance width, how wide apart your knees should be during Nordic curls. I recommend your regular squatting stance. For most people, that's going to be about shoulder width apart. Most people make the mistake of going too narrow. This limits your strength and it won't give you that effective hamstring stimulus. During your Nordic curls, how should you position your ankle joints? I recommend to dorsiflex the ankles because if you plantarflex, you're going to say hello to cramp city. Most of you are going to experience this because the gastrocnemius is that biarticular muscle and it's crossing both the ankle and the knee joint. It's trying to do two functions at once. It's going to give you tons of headaches. Avoid this by simply keeping a dorsiflexed ankle. Let's take a look at the band. You can see that I've got it set up above head height, and the reason for this is so that the assistance matches the movement pattern as I move through range. As we discussed in the introduction, what's happening at your hip joint is important. When you first start out with the Nordic curl, you might need more of a flexed hip in order to get a full range of motion at your knee joint. As you progress over time, increase the challenge by extending the hips, keeping an upright torso, and this is going to increase the stimulus on your hamstrings and your results. Next, you'll notice that I've got the band at chest level. There's two reasons for this. First, if I fail, I can catch myself safely in a push-up and exit the position. But more importantly, it reinforces correct ab bracing. I can really engage my stomach for a strong contraction in my hamstrings. With respect to the speed of your Nordic curls, don't go too slow. This is boring and it doesn't really work that well in the real world. On the other hand, going really quickly isn't going to stimulate your hamstrings. Just use a controlled tempo and an explosive concentric. This is the most important part of today's video, full range of motion. Most people make the mistake of keeping a partial bend in the knee. This is incorrect. I want you to get that knee fully straight, squeeze the quad before you return to the top. Guys, enough of me talking for a second. What's your favorite hamstring exercise? If you could only pick one, what would it be? The band Nordic targets the gastrocnemius, hamstrings, and glute muscles. With Nordics, we're training knee flexion and hip extension. Knee flexion is when the shin moves towards the femur. Hip extension is what's happening at the trunk and torso. As we fall forwards, our knees are extending the hamstrings eccentrically along with the calves, resisting knee extension and doing eccentric knee flexion. At the same time, our hips start extended and we perform an isometric contraction to maintain trunk position, using the hamstrings and the glutes. The biarticular nature of the hamstrings crossing both the knee and the hips makes this really tough. We have three hamstring muscles, the semitendinosus and semimembranosus medially, with the bicep femoris laterally. All three muscles do hip extension and knee flexion, but the bicep femoris has two heads and one does only knee flexion. Here's why the band Nordic curl is perfect for muscle growth. Firstly, it has that eccentric and concentric phase, full range of motion. Next, it allows you to have control over a variety of rep ranges. And lastly, it's perfect from beginner to advanced levels, allowing you to progress all the way to unassisted. Stay here on Fitness FAQ's YouTube to keep learning. Otherwise, fitnessfaqs.com for the best calisthenics programs. You won't regret it.